Is it live, bro?
It's recording.
Imagine we record and then there's nothing, and we just talk.
Have you been here before to test it or no?
No, it's my first time. Like I was here
Fair.
with Gofa with Stark, but
Well, I mean, whatever. I mean, if it doesn't work, we can just redo it, but it's all good.
okay, bro.
We'll try it out.
We're losing our virginity in podcast.
Our podcast virginity.
So
Yeah, we'll edit that out.
no, we're not editing anything.
I'm
Bro.
just joking.
But okay, bro. How does it feel?
Feels fantastic. Feels good. Middle of the day podcast, first one.
First,
Guest list B, I'm honored. First of all, thank you for having me. This is quite an honor and a privilege. So I'm happy to be here.
Hopefully it works, bro. Because I don't know. It's
Well,
kinda-
I'll blame you and I'll sue. It's okay.
But yeah, okay. Give us a little introduction. Who you are, bro. As an
Well-
artist, you know, like as a. Yeah, how would you describe as an artist yourself?
Well, I would say I feel like I'm a passionate person, probably at heart, and I feel like having a creative outlet. I've always felt like I needed it, kind of in my life, but even I feel like when I was very young, I've always loved music, and I've always been surrounded by a lot of musicians and a lot of talented people that were involved in music, and I really liked, I danced for a while when I was young into my teenage years,
Well,
and
that's true.
yeah, so I mean sometimes I literally forget about that, but there's something about especially being involved in a dance kind of community and culture where you're around music, but even learning choreography and like dancing to music and keeping a rhythm and memorization, like, and all that, I feel like it really helped me maybe understand like sort of like groove and actually like what, I don't know, I feel like what good music is and what music that I would like to listen to, and everything depending on like what mood I'm in. I would have music kind of in a way like I would have playlists just for moods that I would be feeling basically throughout my whole life, and then and eventually like when I got older, I felt like I've always maybe wanted to be a DJ, but I didn't really know what that meant in a way. Like I wanted to play music. And
Did you ever try playing any instrument? Because
yeah, I tried to play the drums, but I never had like a drum kit. But I would always go and play the drums like in my like cousin's basement whenever we would have like family Christmas gatherings, and I thought that was really fun, but I never really did lessons or anything. And but yeah, like I felt like I was always musically inclined, but I never really took the next step to invest in the music, or invest in like any lessons or paying for the equipment or anything. But yeah, but even being like wanting to be a DJ, like I remember, this is so funny, like when the game DJ Hero, when that came out, but for some reason I thought that was like a controller where I could buy, but it was a game, and then I got the like game, but I was like, oh wait, this isn't being a DJ, this is like connected to the game. Anyways, but I felt like it was always sort of like a money thing, and maybe I was just overthinking it kind of, but I've always felt like I wanted to play music, and I always felt like I had good music taste. But yeah, and then eventually, when I came here, and then I met you and then Diego, and you guys were into it, playing music, and we would just be hanging out and you guys would be mixing. I felt like that was sort of like the Kickstarter for me to be like, you know what, I think I could actually do this, like
Yeah.
being around other friends. And I think it was maybe just I felt like I was sort of not in a culture where I could pursue it, or had like a sort of an avenue to be like I could see progress in doing this. But then eventually when I started just researching and exploring different genres and stuff, and then and then slowly but surely I feel like it's just investing in the equipment and then getting into it and then just playing music more and more.
I just feel like here in Canada, like you're not really, how do you say it? Like it's not as cultural as for us in Mexico or like Latin countries. That music is like, since we are
It's part of the
born-
culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So it's just like there's a different approach in Canada that in Latin countries, even the States. It's different, but every
Yeah.
place. But yeah, it's just.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I think it's. I feel like it's like getting exposed to it. Where
Mhm.
if I'm exposed to it, I feel like I can really try to understand and be open-minded to picturing myself like in other, I guess like cultures, or wanting to be curious and understand it. But maybe curiosity is sort of the first step where you have to be kind of curious and open-minded, even in genres that I don't really even feel like I would play necessarily. But like, for example, like drum and bass, I never really, like, I don't know if I'd ever play it or necessarily like pursue that type of genre because I don't really maybe resonate with it kind of the same.
Yeah, same.
But I appreciate it in a way, you know? Like at first I felt like I was closed off kind of to when I would listen to it. I'd be like, oh, it's so noisy or there's not like a groove to it. But I think it's not really feeling like, oh, I'm just a house DJ or I'm just a techno DJ, right? Like
It's
just
so
to be
hard
curious
nowadays.
to be open to just like what is good music, you know?
It's so hard nowadays to be like, oh, I'm just a house DJ and then that's it. That's all. Like,
Yeah,
it's
because you don't want to be branded as like the guy who just plays house.
and it's so
you know?
it's like there's so much good music that it's hard to choose like pick one. Like
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, art producing maybe it might be different, but like you can produce minimal house, travel house, and stay in the same kind of concept, but like just
Mhm.
different. I don't know, but for me it was the same. Like 2012 when Skrillex was booming. You know,
Oh
like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that's
I was
dubs-
big into Skrillex too.
But that was dubstep and shit like that, right? So like it was like
Yeah.
okay, it's fun, but nowadays like I just don't find the groove, don't find the
hmm
like for me it's just like a lot of noise without grooves. It's just like
Yeah.
I understand people that like it, but at the same time I just don't resonate with that,
Yeah.
you know?
And it's very subjective too, right? Like you can try to, you know, in a way have an open mind, let's say, or like, you know, like have friends and still have a community of people that, you know, it's like, yeah, you'd support them, but you wouldn't necessarily play like, I guess, that type of music in your own set, but
Yeah.
you still like the music in a way
Yeah.
because you like the person too, right? And like, I don't know about you, but I feel like a lot of my friends, when they ask about like, or when they mention maybe like that I'm a DJ or I play music or whatever, and they say EDM a lot,
Yeah.
but EDM it is like, it's electronic dance music,
Yeah.
but EDM is, I picture EDM like sort of like
Martin Garrix.
main stage and Martin Garrix, exactly.
So,
But
yeah.
there's so many subgenres of like what house music is, and then you could say like what techno is. So it's like the terminology.
yeah,
It's like
infinite, bro. Like
you get to get lost in it, sort of, right?
you can, yeah, literally, you can go and be like, "Do you like this acid minimal tribal tech, bro?"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
bro,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know. It's like you're kind of like a chameleon, where it's like you know people who are like that in a way because they're in the scene or they're a big DJ or something, and they know every genre. But then there are people who are like, yeah, it's like you play EDM music, and then you have to be like, instead of explaining it, you'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, I do,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's still dance music, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really funny because like whenever you're a DJ, it's either they imagine you're like David Guetta or like a wedding DJ, you know? Like, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like
There's no in between. Yeah.
it's weird, bro.
But, I mean, even the like playing music here, I feel like it's getting, you could say, better
Oh,
in
it's
terms of a
getting
scene,
better. It's
and
getting
you're
better.
definitely like the main force behind that one, because you're taking the initiative to one, do this, but even have people come over, record sets for their own like brand in a way.
Yeah.
To put it out on their socials or whatever, but really, I think it's interesting because there's limited venues. There are still a lot of talented musicians around, but in terms of like playing, you could say, you know, house music in a way, or any music that would curate like a vibe, I guess it's very like, okay, well, you want to try to bring a lot of people together, but then there's a lot of musicians where they're just not like familiar with it, right?
Yeah.
Or they just think it's, you know, it's just something else, or you know, but it's also good because I think it's a really good stepping stone, PI, what it offers, because if you know, are in the community and then you just ask, like, people are very open-minded to be like, yeah, sure, like, you can play at the venue, and then you just get the reps in, and then hopefully that'll lead to something bigger eventually, right? Like, going to Ottawa, eventually meeting more people there too, but it would be tough for me to just do that and not play at all.
Yeah.
But then to say like, oh yeah, I'm a DJ, like I want to start in Ottawa.
Oh yeah, here's like getting the reps, getting everything. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm doing.
Mhm.
Like building this, getting the reps, and then whenever we move to bigger cities, like okay, we already have something built
Yeah.
and ready to show. Okay, like this is what I do, or this is what like my following. This is blah blah blah, right?
Yeah,
So
it's like a portfolio, right?
exactly, it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Yeah. And then yeah. By the way, we live in PI, Prince Edward Island.
Yes, also, yeah. Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island.
A small province in Canada, like 200,000 people, something like that, I guess. I don't know.
I have no idea either, yeah.
But it's just.
But who knows, immigration's getting capped, so it could lower.
And by limitation of venues, we actually mean like we have like literally like 4 venues.
Yeah, literally 4. In the winter, it is probably 2. It's 2 venues, yeah.
Right.
And one of them's a half venue, so it's like 1.5 basically.
But hey, we do it for fun to
We do it
share
for the
our
vibes.
music. Yeah. So what's your
Yeah.
inspiration? Like whenever like you are listening, like what inspire you to make or to play music? You know, like it's just like
Yeah. Well, honestly, man, I feel like like I said, a big thing is one meeting you and being friends with you, and then having sort of your music taste in a way sort of resonate with me, and then eventually I would go down sort of rabbit holes of related artists, but also still kind of be open and curious to see like what sounds do I like, kind of,
Yeah.
and not try to stick with one like let's say like a lot of just tech house, because I know if I want to play at, let's say, different venues, I know there'll be different types of people. Maybe they just wouldn't like tech house, and then eventually I just get bored of it.
that's one thing about here. It's just like you cannot, even if you want, you can't stick with one genre because like
Yeah.
we only have 1 or 2 venues sometimes, so it's really hard to like if you really want to perform. It would be
Yeah.
like okay, like you need to bend your style a little bit just to be Salt and Soul, for example. That is
Yeah.
just like you can play your style, but at the same time you bend a little bit to play like all the tech houses pop
Yeah.
songs remix. It's like
Things people that can they can resonate with, or they've heard before, or it's catchy or something, right? But then I think it's a good balance, or you try to find a balance of songs that people would want to obviously dance to, like that they know, and then other songs that you like in a way
Yeah.
that fit that vibe too, right?
yeah.
So it's like all the things about like, let's say like like reading a room, or I don't know about you, but there's also some times where maybe at first I was always thinking like, how can I like bring people more to the dance floor, or like how can I get people
Yeah.
like dancing, and then if people like were dancing and then they would leave, I'd be like, oh, are they going away because they don't like my music, or are they just doing it because they're tired, or they just want to see their friends or bored? So I think it's like over time you realize that you're kind of just in your own head sort of about it too.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like here people is still a little bit close with music, so it's just like okay, fuck, like I cannot play a lot of music that they don't know because they're
Yeah,
really
right.
like, what is this? Like it's good, but like I don't know any of the lyrics. Or can you play something with lyrics? Or can you play
Yeah.
Sweet Caroline or
Yeah, exactly.
50 Cent? It's like okay, like I know that I understand that I need to play something that they know. That's why we go to the pop songs, pop tech house remixes.
That's right.
To be able to like okay,
Yeah.
here's your Black Eyed Peas remix or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. And I think that's why like Bubba's is good in a sense too, and that's why it's a great venue, because people come for the music too.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to try to like win them over to bring them to the dance floor because they're in the back or something. Like they're already front and center, and they just want to listen to good music. So it's a little bit less pressure in a way, because they're already there. It's not like they're really going to leave necessarily.
They are coming to see you, like,
And they're coming to see you, yeah.
You are doing your own event, or like
Yeah.
you are putting together like a night of like house, techno, whatever. So
Yeah.
they already know what they want, like
Yeah.
they are coming for. But like whenever like a venue hire you, like to book you to
Yeah.
go play, it's a little bit like okay, I need to bend your
Yeah.
styles.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like going to the rabbit holes of like listening to a lot of music, listening to like okay, like I
Mhm.
like this, I like that, and then just put it all together. And
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, there's definitely moments where, and it's also good because I have to sort of force myself sometimes to just not listen to music for like a day.
Alright.
But then the next day, you just get more refreshed in a way. Like the same song you listen to, if you're just like analyzing the track, or you just really, really like it and you're just putting it on repeat, but to kind of, it's like your ear palette or sound palette,
Yeah.
to just take a break for a bit and then come back to it, and you just feel like you can resonate with it either a bit differently, or just it's also just good because it's just a lot of noise sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you just feel like you're scatterbrained, and doesn't help with the ADHD part where you're just putting on the same song on repeat all the time. So
Like for example, for me at work, like I will like at work I'm always having headphones, bro. Like 'cause like it's just a lot of noise, so
Yeah.
it's just like I just
You have to tune out.
headphones. So, but like I would say, like out of the 100% of my day, or even my week, like I listen to 5% of music during work,
mhm.
because I don't know, I just rather listen to podcasts or anything else just
Yeah.
to be aside, because as you said, like if I'm listening to music every day, every single day, it's kind of like, okay, I need to separate, like a break.
Yeah, you need a break.
But yeah, bro, like that's one thing that I really like, just like listening to podcasts, like learning, like I've been like right now listening to Will Clark podcast, bro.
Okay.
That's what inspired me to make this, because like I was like, man, like it's so complicated, like blah blah, and like this guy just Will Clark is a DJ, techno DJ,
Oh, okay, okay.
really good. But like the guy just literally just sits down, bald head, just like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm gonna interview this guy, and then it's just like so simple and
Yeah.
nice, but like you learn so much
Mm-hmm.
that it's just like, okay, bro, like if like this guy can do it, like I can do it, like
Very natural,
Yeah,
very
exactly.
very easy, very basic. Yeah. Well, I think that's the same thing. I guess you could say even with like DJing, right? Because it's like it's either like you said earlier, it's like it's like you're either like a beginner or you're just starting out, or like I don't know, wedding DJs, mainstay DJs. But there's that in between where you're like, you're playing music and you're playing at venues, but and you're getting money. It's a side hustle. It's fun. You're curating a vibe. It's cool. But there's so much that goes into it. It's so like
Yeah, bro.
very 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 subjective in a lot of ways too, because you're like, well, I don't know, like sometimes you just get sick of certain music and then you just don't play it anymore. But I think a big thing of it, one is just not overcomplicating or not overthinking it,
Or frustrating
to start doing it and invest and at least just buy the stuff and be like, at least for me, and I'm sure for you too, like at least just to believe in yourself and to be like, if I'm gonna do it, like I wanna find like the standard of what good is in a way,
Yeah.
right? And find good DJs, but necessarily more like how can I be my own brand and find my own sound in a way too, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So, for example, you can be the best DJ, but if you're with the wrong crowd, it's like, okay, like they're not gonna dance.
That's right.
Like,
Yeah.
what happened to you at Joe Brown's? It's like.
Oh my God, yeah. But I guess that's just the grind of trying to put yourself out there and play different venues and just kind of just do it because it's new. You know, it's a new experience and like why not, right?
To give a little bit of context, if you feel.
Oh yeah. This is funny. Yeah. This place, John Brown's in Charlottetown.
I will say is what teenagers go there. No, not teenagers, but like people from 19 to like early 20s. White.
Who knows? Yeah, or really old people. Kind of
Yeah.
depends, I guess, right? But it's sort of just like a sports bar pub vibe. Anyways, but yeah. So one night I was playing there, and yeah, I set up, and it was upstairs. And it's 2 floors, so I was upstairs, and there was no one up there, so I'm just over the balcony kind of, and there's some people on the main level, and it's early in the night. It's like 10 basically, and around like 10:30, and all I'm playing is really like it's house, but it's not like it's not like loud or like it's very minimal. Like it's chill, groovy. Like I'm not really going into anything hard or like aggressive or anything. Obviously, it's still early in the night, and then this woman comes up to me. I don't see her at the time, but I'm like talking with someone, just casually. He just wanted to say hi, so it's just me and him. But then she comes up behind me, and when she approaches me in such a very calm like way that I just think she's just going to be like, hey, can you play this song, or like I don't know, or just introduce herself or something. This is the vibe I'm getting. And then she comes up to me, and then she just says, like, she looks at me so sincerely, and then she just says, hey, can you play anything that isn't bullshit? Like so nonchalantly. And it's like, when you just hear something and you just like don't really get it. One, because I'm in the middle of like trying to mix something, and like, I have a friend beside me, and like he hears this too, and he's like looking at me, and it's so funny. It's just like I almost kind of like admire it in a way, just to be so direct, just to say
so
how you
chill
feel,
about it, no?
but also like, what are you doing? Like, chill, like one, it's just music. 2, it's not bullshit. It's a good song. I like it.
Yeah.
But these are just sometimes the people that you gotta just
exactly.
you gotta deal with. But obviously, I'm not like, hey, fuck off. I basically was just like, one, you just can't talk to me like that. Like, I'm not doing anything wrong here. But obviously, she's probably just, I don't know, hammered or like fucking mad about some thing in her life,
As we say, like, they're not open to new music and stuff like that. Like, probably she was like, can you play some country? Because like a lot of people love country here.
And that's okay. I think that's the other thing maybe I'm noticing. It's like, it's not the first time this has happened. Because there's another place that's happened before too. Like sometimes at Salt and Soul would just be the occasional person too, right? That would just come up and just give us like attitude for no reason. But if you want to like or if you want me to play a song, or like you have a suggestion or inquiry, like that's okay. I'll probably still say no, but like I'm not going to shut you down like immediately. But it's just like the
Or you can
approach.
just, later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or just be like,
Later.
yeah, I'll put it in the queue, but like don't
Yeah.
do anything. It's also USB, like you can't like download a song. But to just come up to me just with the attitude, like you don't know me, I don't know you. I'm not like I'm just trying to like I'm in a position of like trying to curate something, right? Like I don't know. Maybe it's just sometimes they just think of like I don't know. We're just like there, kind of hanging out, fucking
Yeah.
around. Who knows? But I think that's the one thing where maybe you just have to. I'm sure every big DJ's probably ran into that.
Oh,
right?
bro, everyone.
It's part of the
It's part of
story,
the
honestly.
job,
Like
and it's part of the job,
it is
yeah.
entertaining sometimes, but if it gets obviously like the only annoying part really that I don't even care about that. It's more or less just funny. But like when people are either like the drink is close or like something is spilling over the
Oh.
controller, like there has to be. I mean, I get it. People drink and they get wild, but
I
like
don't think they are aware that like the equipment costs more than
their life,
thousands of
basically. Yeah.
thousands of dollars. You know.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot.
just-
It's just the carelessness sometimes where you're just in a scene, but then again, there's things to do like set up a barrier or whatever. But anyways, it's all fun. It's all good fun.
Yeah, it's part of the job, you know. Like it's if not, it will actually be the best job in the world. It is.
It would almost be yeah, literally. It would almost be too easy. These are things where it makes you stronger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what's your creative process to create a set or to craft a set? Like,
Sometimes I don't really like there. Usually the night before I would probably like make a playlist of songs that I'm thinking that I would probably play depending on the venue and and if it's new music that I just downloaded. Like our friend Simon Pak, he told me once that basically just like word of advice, one, that he would do this a lot, that he would just download music the day of or the night before and not really listen to the whole track, but listen to like maybe 10 15 seconds, like I don't know, just basically like not even a full phrase, but just to kind of feel into it, and if it's worth it, download it, but play it live, and just beat match by ear basically, and then I think that approach where it's like you're not too focused on the technicals, and it's okay for some times to just have the sound be slightly offbeat, for like a little bit, or have things that aren't too perfect. It just makes it more like, I don't know, validated that you're doing it live, kind of.
Yeah.
But it will obviously help you, like let's say transition to vinyl, right? Where you can't see what you're doing, you have to do it by ear and match the pitch and all that. So I think it's like little things like that where sometimes I'll just download music and not really hear the full song, but try to understand the phrase and at least put like a cue point on the end of a phrase or the beginning of it, and then try to just like basically just like be match it that way, and not really listen to it, but try to work the EQ slowly and just play it out. Like if I take away the bass of the outgoing track too quickly, but I realize that the bass isn't heavy enough in the incoming track, like I'll do that, and I go, oh, okay, it's too quiet, like bring it back, and then just let the track play out a bit. So anyways, long story short, sometimes I do sort of know what I'm playing before, and then sometimes I don't. So it's really like trial and error, I think, over time.
Yeah.
In terms of just trying to like make a set if it's an hour or two, but
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's just the process is different for everyone. Just like mine is just the same. Just they like every time I'm listening new music, like I put like, I don't know, SoundCloud on the radio or Spotify on the radio or whatever. So like I'm like listening to new tracks and I save them, and then depending of the depending of the depending of the gig, like I'll grab the tracks. If it's house or it's more like trance or something like that, I'll just get that music, put in a playlist, and then see like what kind of like I want to start with, like the first hour. It depends how long it's the set, right? But like it's just it depends. Like I usually just pick like the like the first track, and then a few, like three, like maybe the tracks that I want to end, like three options,
Right.
So like
Yeah.
Like,
I think of that as well. Yeah, like you're slowly warming up, and then the middle part is more like you're just feeling it out
Yeah,
live,
exactly.
and then you know what you kind of want to end with. Yeah.
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 What has been your like favorite gig so far, like right now?
Favorite gig, favorite venue, or favorite like time playing?
Time playing, just
That's a good question. Favorite time playing, probably. I mean, it's gonna sound cheesy in a way, but honestly, man, I think every time I play, like, I just really love playing music. You know,
Yeah.
like I think it's like I'm having a good time because one, I like the music that I'm playing.
Yeah.
But any time like we're playing together at Bubba's, even like when we play back to back at Craft Beer Corner, like there's always things where, like you would not check me, but like in terms of even transitioning, like put the reverb on the
Yeah.
outgoing track, like
Yeah.
little things where I'm still learning little things every time I play. So it's not like boring, and I'm always engaged, and I'm always
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm always having fun. So
Bro, because every time like you learn something new, it's like he's like you've been playing for what, like a year and
like a
few
year,
months?
almost a year and a half. I
Like
guess. Yeah.
you jump really quick. You were like, okay, I've learned in like few months, 2 3 months, and then like we start putting you into the gigs,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you start opening, and then now like now you're closing. You're like in a year, right?
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
and for me, I was like, I bought my first mixer during COVID, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna play, but like I never like did this because I wanna become a DJ and play outside. I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
It's just for fun. Yeah.
So it took me like 2 years, and then I was like, okay, I feel it now that I'm ready to be out, and then
Yeah. Totally.
it just I don't feel like you have to rush it. I feel you have to, whenever you feel you're ready, do it.
You do it, yeah. And then sometimes you just have to jump right into it in a way too. Like like I knew obviously with you and Diego, but it's like knowing that there are other people that are better than me technically, let's say,
Mhm.
and that also have good taste in music. Like it's different than if it was just be me kind of doing it on my own, because then I don't really have any gauge of trying to learn and improve and be around
Yeah.
other people, right? So
Yeah.
so that's motivating, and I think that's the energy that I kind of want to be around too, knowing that I can see progress in that way too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone has their own style of mixing. That's where like it's kind of like an art of like, okay, like everyone makes different, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just like the little details of like, okay, like maybe if you do this and like like the
Mhm.
little learning steps that you or like sometimes I like learn like, oh bro, like why I'm not doing this, like if I do this I'm like
Yeah,
it's like, and that just the 1% better every day, then you're improving.
Exactly.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
So-
totally.
but yeah, bro,
Hundo.
this was fun, bro. Like,
Yeah,
I
bro.
mean,
Do you want to keep going or no?
wh-
Or it was more
do
questions?
do you
I
have
guess.
time or
Yeah, I got time. Yeah, we got like 5 minutes.
five more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have any advice for anyone that wants to start? What would you say? Like, I know that you just started, to be honest, like
Yeah,
a year,
yeah.
right? So it's not like a lot of experience, but like what would you tell yourself like before like,
Starting, yeah. I've had people like even like some clients of mine too that are they're younger and like they're interested and they have good taste in music, but honestly some of their friends I would say is they're like they want to, let's say, come out to like our shows more, but it's like when you're in your friend group and like you're the only one that wants to go do this thing, but everyone else wants to obviously do let's like something else.
Yeah.
I would say my advice would, one, be like, if you take the initiative to invest in really anything, and you see an avenue of growth, I think there's always a return on that investment in a way, because if you're passionate and you're just consistent with, technically practicing, but also just be open and be curious and think of it as like a fun side hustle. Don't think about the money, but just enjoy sort of, like wanting to find more music and just keep listening to new music, and then try to download it, whatever, mix it, have fun with it, and I think over time like you'll find your people, I think, in a way. But I think a big thing is putting yourself out there, and one, not being afraid to just go up to other people or bar managers or whatever and just inquire, but over time, it's all about playing good music. Like, don't worry about the technicals, because
Exactly.
the technical mixing of music is like, no one's going to judge you about technically mixing different, but it's just the adrenaline sometimes of fucking up, like live, not even really that bad, but like people aren't going to care, and I think that's just like what makes you get better, is not worrying about people judging you or whatever, but just focus on having fun and listening to good music, and over time you'll get those opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like not try to rush it, and then just. I think if you see it as a activity to make money, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
I think you have to do it as like, I do this for fun, and if I make money, good.
Yeah.
If I don't make money, I'm good too.
Yeah.
Like of course, like once that you have like certain time doing it, it's just like, okay, now I know that I'm giving value to your venue. Now I'm know that like I'm bringing in friends. You start with 5 friends, 3 friends.
Big time. Yeah.
It's not like you're gonna bring 30 friends the first, or 30 people the first time you go to a place. It's just like you start like 2 friends, 3 friends, and then
if you provide like the venue value, obviously, by other people coming in and paying for drinks, it's like, well, that's good in that sense too. But I mean, even professionalism, like just don't get hammered, don't act a fool, or like don't be like annoying, obviously. But if you're just calm, cool, collected, essentially, like the whole time, you show up on time, put your gear away at the right time, like shake hands, like little things. I think it goes a long way.
I think time is the most important thing, because people notice like, okay, like this guy, like he's supposed to start in 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like here, like we do that sometimes, like because we live so close to the venues.
Yes, exactly.
That it's like, oh, we'll be there in 5 minutes, and then yes, we are there in 5 minutes, but like because we go there enough and we know how to set it up, everything very quickly. But yeah, in other places, locations, it's so different. In a city, like let's say if we live in a bigger place, Halifax at least, like no, you have to be there, like I will say 45 minutes earlier, sound check, make everything, like well, bigger, I will say bigger clubs where like they provide you their gear.
Yeah,
it's like you have to be there earlier just to sound check, make sure everything works and everything is how you like it, and then but yeah, bro.
Yep, 100%.
Then do you have any like what's your like summer looking like do you have any festival that you really want to get into?
I really hope we play at Spudfest. I applied for Spudfest. That'd be really fun. I applied to Electric Pines and I applied to Future Forest. I'd love to play those. I think Not So Thatch Festival I applied for as well. But yeah, bro, I would love to play. Like, I just want to play as much music as possible. All the festivals I basically applied for, I'd love to play at those, and just the opportunity to play my music, it'd be really fun. So those are festivals I definitely really want to play at, and yeah, play as much as I can in the summer here too at Soul and Soul. Continue to play at Bubba's.
Did you message the guys from for the Ottawa?
I'm waiting to hear back from them. So hopefully hear back soon. But yeah, Ottawa, that'd be great, man. Just try to connect with more of the DJs there and just get in the scene would be great. So, but yeah, like in May as well. Like my cousin Kyle, he owns a clothing store, Boredom, in Ottawa. So he has in-store DJ sets there. So regardless if I play downtown, I'll do an in-store set there.
It's a good starting point, like
totally. Just to get content and just to play music there. Honestly, it'll be great too. So just to get a bunch of people, that will be fun.
Well, do you want to say anything to the camera? Your socials or anything, bro?
Yeah, I'm also a barber. So follow me on Instagram, Tully Trims, and. Yeah, this has been a fun little podcast. I wish we had more time.
Bro, you're so good talking, bro. Like I was like,
yeah. Well, I just recorded a haircut video, and I was literally stuttering and saying every 3 seconds. So this was actually an improvement. But yeah, this was fun. I definitely want to do more. But guestless PI, Javier Fernandez, Tully Doyle. Incoming.
And then don't forget to check out his mix. It's gonna be probably 3 days after we post this. So this is just to get to know the artist.
Yeah, we'll make a new mix tonight.
Yeah.
Here we go. Tully Trims, Tully Doyle, Javier Fernandez signing off.
Good shit.
Peace.
Bro.
Good shit.
That was fun.
That was good, bro.